brilliant for that. So I might be in like some kind of mist. So if I'm in a mist, it just means the sun's saying hello to us. Either that or my telephone screen needs a good wipe. Okay, welcome to this beginner Pilates class for breast cancer rehab. So, go at your own pace, yeah? We're just going to do again, similar to how we did last week. I think I gave you my email last week, jls67@hotmail.co.uk. I know I spoke to Steph by your email, which was lovely. So if you've got any issues or any questions, just fire me an email. Or if you want me to cover something that I've not covered, you know, if you want to do a little bit more abdominal stuff, then let me know. So at the minute, what I thought we'd do is, again, spend most of the session talking about just getting some range of motion back into our neck, into our shoulders, getting some strength back, getting some proprioception so the message is firing up to the brain. So work quite a little bit on our feet and getting some strength into the legs as well. So without further ado, we will just think about having a little pen on our nose, and we're just going to take not a full flexion, but just a tiny little chin nod. And then I just want you to circle, nice little circles, 6 in one direction, not a big one, so we're not taking our chin all the way down to the chest. Sometimes that can be a little bit too much on the neck. And then circle the other way. So sometimes we start from feet, but we're going to start from neck today. And again, just gentle. These are lovely to do on the floor. So make sure, if you've not got a chair nearby, guys, get a chair, get something to balance on. Most of the exercises you can do seated if you get fatigued. Okay, well done. And then keep those shoulders back and down, and we're just going to try and keep our chin parallel, and we're just going to take a little turn to the right. And then gently back to centre, and a little turn to the left. And back to centre. I've done 2 sports massages this morning, guys, so my shoulders are hurting me. And the other way. And back, and one more. Back to centre, and again. So mobilising the joints first before we stretch them out. Then take right ear to right shoulder. Feel, just notice how much tension there is on each side of the neck. Back up again and the other way. And again, just notice if you've got more tension or you feel more of a stretch on the side where you've had your surgery. It doesn't always work that way, unfortunately, because sometimes we overuse the side that we've not had surgery on, and that ends up becoming a little bit shortened around the muscles and a little bit tighter. And again, let's do 2 more. And remember, your breath is just nice and even. We're not running a marathon. But try and think about inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Okay, well done. And then we'll just do the tiny little bit. Don't protract too much, just a little bit of a cheeky. And back again. A little bit. And back. A little bit. And back. And again. And back. And again. And back. So, perfect posture, guys. The ears should be directly above the shoulders. And what tends to happen sometimes is we tend to get a little bit forward shouldered like this. So we're trying to retract back and take those shoulders down. Okay. Let's start then with our shoulder circles. So we're just going to keep a nice straight arm. Always, I don't know if you remember last week, guys, always try and use, if we're doing unilateral one at a time, always go to the side where you've not had surgery. And then you've got an idea of how it's supposed to feel. So again, we're just circling with a straight arm to start with. And 5. And 6. And then if you can, bring the elbow in. Really try and get that elbow up and back. So scapula back and down. And back. And again. I don't know if it's sunny there, guys, but it's nice to see a little bit of sunshine after yesterday. And if you can, take it then, so you've got hands onto the shoulders and get that elbow a little bit higher. And again. And again. 2 more. 3, I've been looking forward to this all day. I'd like just a manic day with planking and massaging. And relax. Well done. Good. Now the other side. So again, this is where I had my accident. So I had a lot of, I thought I'd torn my rotator cuff anyway. I hadn't. But I had a lot of problems through the neck. Actually, I'm finding my right side's getting a little bit tight because I'm just overcompensating. So again, that might be what happens with you. So don't be alarmed to think, oh gosh, I'm actually feeling tension in the other side. And 2, and 1. And then bring that elbow up and back. So up and back. And again. And again. 2. And 1. And then take, again, if you've done, if ever anyone's bothered, damaged their rotator cuff, this becomes a problem, this motion. So if you can get hands on there, then great. And we're just going to circle again. Circle again. And 3. And 4. 5. 6. And then all the way. Or go back to the short lever. 2. You can never do enough. So when we talk about movement patterns, so any kind of mobility, so our mechanoreceptors live in our joints and then go the other way. Same why we use the spiky ball sometimes under our feet to get them sensory receptors. So it's all about getting the mechanoreceptor movement patterns firing up to the brain. So it's all about proprioception, so the brain knows where we are in space. Good, well done. And then take it up and down. So just see how this one feels, Steph, with the cording. Hopefully a lot better. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Turn it over. Bring the palms in again. And then can you bring them together and round? Bring them together and round. One more. And then take it out and just place it in. And for 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, don't worry if you can't touch. I find it really hard to touch. And 2, and 3, and 4. Back out again for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Take the palms down again. Take them back. This time, let's see if we can take it into full angel arms. So take the palms up. Don't worry if you can't. Just continue doing that if not. Otherwise, take it overhead, back, and down. And again. And down. Again. And 4. And when would you ever devote an hour's time to getting mobility in your shoulders? You just wouldn't, would you? I wouldn't if I didn't do my rehab classes. And 2. And 1. Well done. And then take it into front raise. Make a fist and then spread as much as you can. Make a fist and spread the fingers. We're going to do a similar one with our toes. Spread. And spread. And again for 2. For 1. Take fingers like that. Good. Take it out again, and then just pop them down, pop them up, down. So again, don't be alarmed if there's quite a bit of tension. When I do, a lot of people who have shoulder issues, my son actually has a bit of, he lifts a lot, weights, and his forearms are always super, super tight. So I get him to do this a lot and massage through there. So again, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Well done. Okay, then let's take it a little bit more into some movement patterns. We'll stick just with the arms to start with, and then we'll try and bring some legs into it as well. So just take your arms out, shoulders down, think about that length through the crown of the head. And squeeze back. And fold. Squeeze. So when you're squeezing, we're not doing any kind of movement through the torso, through the pelvis. We're literally keeping a little bit of softness in the knees and squeezing. So you're getting that feeling of a stretch through the pectoral wall. And we're not hunching up, so shoulders are down. And 5, 4, and 3, and 2. And if you can, on the next day, if not, just keep to this one. Take it and then take it back into that abduction. So out, and 7. Can you hear the wind? It's like there's going to be a storm. It's sunny and then there's wind everywhere. And 4. I always panic when it's windy. My 19-year-old's having a year out, well, he's having 2 years out now with COVID. I'm working with my brother on his building company. And he's always up on ladders. I'm like, oh, be careful. 2. And 1. Well done. Circle again. So even though we haven't got any weights, when you start using your arms, you're using lots of muscles around the shoulder girdle. So it's nice to just stretch them out. So take your right arm in front and just pull it across the midline. Just feel that stretch. Good. On the other side, and again, pull it across. Good, well done. And then can you take your hands behind your waist, behind your body, and just see if you can just pull the scapula. Pull the scapula together. Feel that stretch through the pectoral wall. Oh, which is where the scapula sometimes gets tight and we need to just stretch out. Well done. Okay, let's see if we can just move a little bit further down now towards the hips. So we're going to try and mobilise the hips. So if you need something to hold on to, guys, please do. Just grab hold of something and then just move forward with the legs. So if you've got a chair, just like this, or I sometimes will demonstrate with a roller. And all we're doing is trying to just get a little bit of a stretch for the inner thigh and strengthen through the legs. So you want to go in a warrior pose. So warrior pose is like front foot is facing forward, as though you were going to do a lunge, but the back one is facing. So that one's that way. Can you see? Sorry, I didn't explain that there earlier. The front foot is facing towards the camera and the other foot is facing away. And we're going to feel a stretch through this inner thigh. So take it into as wide a stance as you can and just bend. And take your arms in whenever we can. We're always going to try and keep your arms moving. And for 3, and for 4, and for 4. So watch the front knee doesn't come over the toes, but you might feel quite a deep stretch in the inner thighs. If you can, take it into a circle motion. You might just circle in front, you might not be able to get it overhead, that's absolutely fine. Just move and circle, move, circle. And for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Well done. And if you can, just reach into it for a bit longer and just lean into it to really feel that stretch. If you've got the range of motion, if not, just come over like this. But if you've got range of motion, then bring it overhead. Take a big breath in. Breath in through the nose. 2 more. Last one. And draw the core in, so navel towards the spine, because sometimes it's a little bit hard to get up. And then take it to the other direction. And always remember, guys, if you start feeling in any way nauseous, just take a seat and just join back in when you feel well enough. Yeah? Okay, so other side. So just literally, it's not a lunge, but the one foot's facing to the camera, the other one is as though we're doing a lunge position, but your hips are squared onto the camera. And you're just moving in, trying to take them arms up to shoulder height or a little bit below. Nice wide leg. Noticing if there's any tightness in the inner thighs. And for 4, for 3, for 2. So not cardiovascular, but there's a little bit of work going on cardio-wise through the heart as we're moving. And 2, and 3, and 4. Let's do 4 more. 4, and 3, and 2. And on this last one, hold it in, either in like that or over to feel the stretch laterally. Take a breath in. more. Last one. And just gently back up. And then just see if you can bring the feet back together. Okay, let's just talk a little bit about neutral pelvis again. I know a couple of you have done my Wednesday class and we've moved quite quickly on from neutral pelvis, but it's always really important to talk about. So imagine if you've just got a tray of drinks on the front of your tummy, and if you stick your bum out, send your hip bones forward, that's what we call an anterior tilt. If we were on the floor, the drinks would be falling onto the mat. Likewise, if you come back into a posterior tilt, that's what we call imprinted spine, the whole spine would be on the mat. And ideally, you don't want to be in any of those positions. You want to be in neutral spine. So let's just do, your hip bones can obviously go, just give them a little bit of a wiggle side to side. So think about your hip bones as 3 to 9 on a clock, and your pubic bone and belly button being 6 to 12. And then just give yourself a little bit of softness in the knee, a little bit of softness. And just send your pubic bone side, stick your bum out. So just a couple of circles. It always feels really nice having this on your back anyway. So again, circling. So when we start doing abdominal work, and we'll do a little bit today, I think, then we don't want to be laterally tilted one way or another, and we don't want to be tilted forwards and back. And again. So if you think of belly button as north, pubic bone south, and your hip bones east and west, sometimes that works for people. 2 and 1. Well done. Okay, so with that in mind, let's see if we can strengthen the hips. Okay, so we've mobilised a little bit through them, so mobilised through the joint. Now we're going to strengthen them a little bit. So we're going to do a squat. Squats, depending, everyone's different. You can do a closed position squat, or you can do a wider position. I'm going to do wide because I feel that my hips just get that bit lower. You try and imagine that there's a wall behind you, and you want to really stick that bum into a wall. So from this position, we're not doing this, yeah? We're imagining, and it takes a bit of faith sometimes, almost that you're falling backwards into the hips. So you're coming back, you're sticking the bum out, and you're coming down. If you struggle with balance, by all means, this isn't ideal, but by all means, take one to one side, and use a chair or something to help you. So bring it down. Or just watch and just learn how to do one. Because they're really, sometimes you see people in class at first and they do this. And there's all kinds of funny things going on. So just imagine that you are really sending that bum to wall. And again, we're just going to do 8 more if we can. For 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4. So the Wednesday 12:30 one, guys, is not much different to this one. I'm still trying to strengthen everything. It's just probably we do a few more reps, that's all. 2 and 1. Well done. Come back again. Just give yourself a couple of little circles. And 2 and 1. And then let's start really warming up the feet, warming up the calf muscles. The calf muscles are so important for balance, really important for osteoporosis to strengthen that lower ankle sort of area that can easily break. So yeah, we want to keep osteoporosis as far away as we can. Okie doke. So all I want you to do, I don't know if you've got a ball, if you've ordered one, guys. If you haven't, I think I showed you last week, little spiky balls. They look like, I don't use them, people say, you know, like the ones you can get for your dryer. I don't know how they feel. These are, they come in all different levels of hardness, I get. This is quite a hard one. Initially, it's nicer to use the slightly softer ones. And they're brilliant if you have problems through your piriformis muscle. So if the piriformis muscle gets tight, then it sometimes can press on the sciatic nerve as well. So they're nice to get just to use against the wall on your butt. But if you haven't got one, I'll just show you again. All we're doing is trying to get them sensory messages to the brain. So we're trying to work the nervous system, firing messages up from our movement patterns. to our peripheral nervous system. And obviously we know chemo can affect all that area, particularly feet. You get peripheral neuropathy. So just, and it really frees up the calf and the hamstring as well. You can always use a tennis ball. Yeah, tennis balls do it quite well, or this like smaller kind of harder balls you can get. But these spiky ones are brilliant, and they're literally called spiky physio balls. They're about £5, something like that. Well worth the money. You can do it while you're watching telly. Okay, so once you've kind of warmed up the feet, I want you just to take the toes. So imagine these are my feet. Take the toes. So my feet are flat on the floor, and I'm pulling my toes up, and then I'm spreading them, and then I'm taking them back down again. Pulling the toes up and spreading the toes, and down again. Pulling the toes towards me, and down. So you probably want to look down. Try not to look down. So again, lift and spread the toes. You might feel like you can't spread them much at all. It's amazing, me included, before I started all this, how tight people are through their feet. Particularly if you are stuck in kind of shoes or trainers all day. Yeah, the joints get jammed. Spread, lower. So lift, spread the toes and lower. And again, 4 more. Spread. And just notice that you're finding one toe harder to spread than the others. Lots of people get arthritis in the toes and spread because we literally keep on like that, screwed up all day. Okay, you can do loads of little exercises where you scrunch the toes. So imagine you've got a little, I don't know, little marble. Pick the marble up, put it to one side. Pick the marble up, put it to one side. Pick the marble up. The other one, squeeze, over, squeeze, over. Squeeze over. And then lift the toes again, spread and down. One more time, lift, spread as much as you can, and down. Try and keep them spread out. Push through the balls of your feet, the whole of the feet. So heel down, ball of the foot down. Stand up nice and tall, and then just take the right foot forward. And we're going to start working nice and easily through the leg. So I want you to work, whenever we are in a pointed foot, we are working the calf muscle. So hips nice and level, opposite hands, we're working the shoulder again. And then we're just going to sorry, I shouldn't have I didn't mean to put the foot forward. And then just lift, and lift, and lift, and lift. If you want to take your arm a bit higher, you can. Really good for coordination. I know it looks super simple this, but sometimes people are a bit like when they have to bring arms and legs in together, they struggle a bit. So opposite arm and leg. And keep drawing that core in. Drawing the core in for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. One of my lovely Leeds ladies, I'm sure she won't mind me saying, when we first did that, she's had a brain tumour. She got the all clear again last Easter, which was brilliant. But she really struggled with the any kind of coordination, and she's fab now, 2 years in. Okay, fantastico. Now let's see, if you felt that was a challenge and actually you feel that you want to work on that move before we go on to the next one, then continue doing that one. It's really good. Or we can try and come up on both heels together. Not heels, balls of the feet. So we come up into a heel raise. Shoulders down, lift, take it up. And just try and stay up just for a few seconds. Again, please don't compromise safety. So have something at hand if you feel a little bit unbalanced. And when you come up, try not to laterally do that with the feet. So don't come up too high if you feel that the feet are turning out. And again. And let's go again. So the nice guidelines, so we should be able to do for strength 25 calf raises. But again, if you feel fatigued, just stop. Let's do 10 more if we can. So 10. Keep drawing the tummy in. 9. 8. 7, 6, look forward to that nice calf stretch, and relax. Well done. Okay, so grab hold of something or grab hold of a wall. We're just going to do a calf stretch. So if you can find a wall, guys, it's easier to push against the wall. Take the back heel up, yeah, and then push that back heel down so you're feeling a deep stretch in the gastrocnemius. The gastrocnemius is the big calf muscle, which particularly if you're trying to keep your cardiovascular up a little bit, guys, by walking, and that's usually what the hospital tends to say. Once you start feeling a bit more energized, go out for a walk. The problem is that your calves can get tight with some of the medication, so make sure you are stretching out. I don't know if you can see, I'll try and explain this. When you're doing a calf stretch and you're pushing the heel down, to get into the bottom calf muscle, which is the muscle called the soleus, which is below the bigger muscle, if you just gently lift the heel a bit and bend your knee ever so slightly, you might feel it further down. It's hard when I'm not there, guys. So push the heel all the way down and then just gently lift it, literally half an inch, and push the knee, let the knee bend a little tiny bit. It gets into that soleus muscle. And release. Well done. Switch again. So take that back heel, push it into the mat. I've not met one person yet who hasn't felt a calf stretch, which just shows how much we use the muscles. So keep pressing down, and again just lift the heel a tiny bit, send the knee down, and then push again. Push the heel into the mat, lift a tiny bit, and push, gently bend the knee, and lower. And we'll do that one more time. If you really want to, if you feel like completely fine without holding off, then you can just take the hands into the front knee, push that heel down, feel the stretch. And again, like I said, it's a difficult one to get into this one, it really is. And unless you're super tight, you might not feel it anyway. But if you just, I don't know if you can see, I'm lifting the heel slightly and bending that knee, and I can feel it down into the soleus. Push again. Oh. And relax. And switch. And again, just push that heel down. Feel that stretch. And we're going to keep with that move. If your calves have had enough and you're like, forget it, Joe, just do your hand and shoulder action. So we'll go into that Morecambe and Rise. For those of you that are incredibly young and probably under, I don't know, 35, you might not have heard of Morecambe and Rise. They were a comedy duo. So, did I tell you that story when I was on my breast cancer rehab class in London? It was about 4 years ago now. And yeah, there were a couple of really young physios, like 23, 24. They were like, what strange, I might have told you this, I apologise if I have. What a strange name to call an exercise, Morecambe and Rise. Where's that from? Yeah, me and a few of the older ones were like, we knew exactly why. And again for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4. Again, don't feel like you need to keep coming up. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Good work. Okay, let's get a little bit of a stretch laterally. If you can take your arms up to fully, great. If not, just take them where they feel comfortable. Push the hips out and feel the stretch. Sometimes particularly, hopefully, people don't often have like dorsi reconstructions anymore if they can help it. They're good, but they obviously take vital muscles, as do tram flaps. So a lot of the time now they try and save the muscle. Obviously, if you are incredibly slim, then you may not have had that fat to reconstruct. So they still obviously do perform lat dorsi ones. So this might sometimes feel a bit uncomfortable. And push across. Last one. one. And again, just gently down. And we're going to do the same thing, but in a crossed leg position if you can. So just again, just to stretch the hips a little bit, all we're going to do is push to one side. If you can take that shoulder over, great. If not, just take it across the body. Big inhale through the nose. And gently back, switch the other way. And again, lift up, or just across the body. Just to feel the stretch laterally. If you're prone to closing your eyes like I am, you have to force them open in this one, because it can be quite difficult on balance. And gently down. Well done. And keeping that, no, in fact, don't come out too much. Take yourself into parallel. And we're just going to do a couple of roll downs. So we're going to do a chin to chest, a little bit of softness in the knees, take the hips backwards, and just very slowly start taking the weight towards the front of the feet. Just gently go down to just where you feel able. Take a breath in and slowly restart back up. I don't do much flexion work because it is osteoporosis contraindication to rolling, so we tend to do a lot of things without flexion, but it always feels nice to roll down just to keep the spine mobile. So chin to chest, take the hips backwards, and again, just to where you feel comfortable. You might just want to go like that, and you might want to go bend the knees, whoops, not like that, bend the knees, go into a cow pose, round the back, stick the bum out, round the back, stick the bum out, round the back. So really nice to do cat to cow on the floor, but unfortunately with lymphedema we don't want to be on our wrist too much. And last one. And gently up. Okay, so let's do some more strength work if we can, guys, through the legs. Okay, so I want to get down. So make sure you're holding on to something if you need it. If you don't, fabulous. But if you do, please don't feel like, oh, why do I have to hold on? I work on balance all the time. A lot of people lift their leg and they're all over the place, so don't feel bad. Yeah, we're going to spread. Remember what we said earlier? Spread them thumbs, spread them feet. Take the foot forward and just lift into flexion. Just lift for two. Steph, this is a good one, but particularly the next couple I'm going to show you. 4, 3. So to strengthen knees, take it up, out, back in, and down. Lift, out, back in, and down. Lift, out, back in, and down. And for 4, and for 3, and for 2, and for 1. Hold it out, lift it. 1, 2, this one particularly. 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Can you feel how strong the quads have to work when you do that? So all the muscles in your quadriceps help to support that knee. Switch sides. And again, draw the navel in. And lift. And for 2. And for 3. And for 4. And for 4. And for 3. And for 2. 1. Take it in, out, down. Lift. Or you can challenge yourself. And 3. And 4. And 4. And 3. And 2. And hold it out and lift. 2, 3. So isometric lifts. 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So if we want to stretch the quad out, you want to try, just bend the knee. If you can, bring that hand to the foot. It's quite hard, If you want to feel it more, if you tuck your tailbone under, it increases the stretch through them quad muscles in the front of the thigh. It's beautiful now here. You're basking in some sunshine, guys. I don't know whether they're being weird this week. And then the other side, so again, just tuck the tailbone under and just feel that lovely stretch through the front of the thigh, not through the front, through the thigh, which is the front of the leg. So the quad muscles, hold, feel. Well done. And then we're just going to do a little bit for the side of the leg. So these, we have a big muscle in our butt called, we've got quite a lot of muscles in our butt, but the main one, the glute maximus, and then we've got the glute median mid, which again helps to support all the bigger muscles. So we're drawing the tummy in, we're sliding the scapula down, and we're going to lift and lower, lift and lower, lift again, hold on if you need to. And again for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. That's all we're going to do. It's not a bar class, and then we're going to take that leg to the back, hold on again, point the foot, draw the tummy in, tuck the tailbone, lift for 8, lift for 7, lift for 6, lift for 5, lift for 4, lift for 3, lift for 2, lift for 1. Well done. So people might be like, why are you doing loads of breast cancer rehab? Obviously, the stronger we make our own body, wards off, some of the side effects of the medication. So it helps the heart keep strong and helps keep lymphedema and osteoporosis at bay if we can. So again, draw the tummy in and lift, or that balance, draw the tummy in, and 3, but don't be frightened of holding on. 4, I see the biggest improvement in balance out of anything. It's so lovely to see. And the other side, and again, on the foot, lift, 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 and for 4, and for 3, and for 2, and for 1. Well done. If you can hold on to something, don't try this without holding on, because I think it's really a tough move to do. We're just going to stretch through the glutes. We're just going to hold on to something and take that left foot or right foot, whichever way you are, and push it to one side, just to feel a stretch through the back of the bum. Sometimes we're tight, and you know that thing, pain in the butt, they say, don't they? And it's true. The amount of people who walk through my studio asking for a massage, and they say, oh, lower back, on my butt, and then yeah. So there's a pesky muscle called the piriformis that can cause a lot of issues nerve-wise if it gets too tight. Relax. Well done. And we'll just do a couple of spinal twists. So all I want you to do, if you can, is you can either do it with arms like this, and in fact, just start like that. Keep the head forward, and then just take your arms, a little bit of the torso. Try and keep head forward. It's quite hard. Good. Then bring it into genie arms. Cossack arms, sorry. Draw the tummy in, and again, just go through the torso. Keep your head pointing forward. And 2 more. Now let your head follow. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, center. And again. 1 more. And just see if you can. If your balance feels like it's improving. So just stand like that. And just again, take it into Cossack. And just rotate. Come back to parallel if it's too much. Rotate. 1 more. And just Good. Good. Well done. Switch sides. And again, just push up. Last one. And if you can, take it into that abduction. Just pull the shoulders back a little bit so you're getting a stretch. And just gently round. And back. And the other way. And back one more. Well done. Brilliant. Okay, let's get down to the floor. Okay, so all I want you to do now is more important than anything that we work on our upper body. So I think I might have showed you the roller last week. I can't remember. These can all be done on the roller. Marianne, who comes to my 12:30, made a really important point last week about saying, yeah, they're great for balance, for increasing proprioception, but if you're going through chemo or radio, anything that's making you feel slightly nauseous, then because that balance structure is becoming even more challenged, then it can make you feel a bit dizzy, as any balance work can initially. So, yeah, go easy if you are having treatment. We're just going to do it on the floor. We can always come to that at a later stage. So I just want you to lie down. And let's just do, so I'm saying lie down, you might be better actually guys, if you're lying down, apologies, just sit up just for a sec, just so I can show you shoulder bridge. I don't know if we did it last week, so I just want to show you it. So with shoulder bridge, it's absolutely wonderful exercise for mobilising the spine, so getting the synovial fluid flowing. If you are worried about osteoporosis, then maybe that you just want to come up onto the rib cage and not up onto the shoulder blade. So I'll just show you it. So we're starting in neutral spine. So remember what I said about pubic bone and hip bones are level. So if I had this tray of very expensive champagne on my abdominals, and I was to bring my pubic bone towards my navel, so I was going to tuck my lower back into the mat like that, the champagne would fall into my navel. Likewise, if I was to go the other way, I'd have a big gap underneath my lumbar spine. I'm going into an anterior tilt. The champagne would fall onto the floor. That is a position that we want to avoid when we're doing abdominal work. Forward and back. So once you get that, when we start in bridge position, normally the hands are down by the side. So we lengthen through the front of the chest and we take a breath in. And we gently roll the lower back onto the mat. And then we start gently coming up, lifting the bottom, lifting the mid-back. And we lift, and we get to the position where our hip bones are nice and high, our navel is nice and connected. And in this position, we just hold for a little bit of endurance, take a breath in, and bone by bone, we start coming down. So if you're worried about osteoporosis, you might actually only want to come up that far. And then mobilise the spine back down. So let's just try it all together, just for two. Just going to do two, just because I want to do a little bit of shoulder work and a little bit of abdominal work. So if you just lie down on the mat and think about your feet. So your feet want to be hip distance apart. And you want to think about just walking the heels a little bit close to the bum, so the shins are directly underneath the knees. If that bothers your knees at all, you can walk the feet away a bit. Take that lengthening through the front of the collarbone, so really nice and long. Try and take your shoulder blades down your back. Little chin nod. Arms down by your side. Take a breath in through the nose. And do that little pelvic tilt where you spill the imaginary drinks into the belly button. The lower back comes onto the mat. And peel your bottom, your lower spine away from the mat. And start coming up. If you want to stop halfway, just as you get to the top of the rib, you can. Or come on all the way up to shoulder blades, not to neck. Letting the knees become really long. Take a big breath in at the top, and slowly start rolling down, bone by bone. Oh, I love bridge house so much. It's the only time I really sit still. And then close your eyes. So try and close your eyes and really look at your vertebrae. We've got 33 bones, vertebrae in our spine. Yeah, the bottom 9 are fused, but just think about how much we kind of go clunk and don't use them. So let's take a breath. So we want to just get the joints moving. We exhale, gently roll the lower back into the mat. Try not to squeeze the bottom too much as you start coming up. Sending the knees along. So we're in this ski, like a ski slope position. Does that make sense when I say that? Like a ski slope. Not sure how many people are going to be using ski slopes this year, but and take a big breath in at the top. And slowly start mobilizing. Bone by bone. Oh. I'm not sure if the video stopped. So practice bridge, guys. It's such a lovely position for just keeping the joints nice and mobile, unless you've been told not to do it, obviously. And then we're just going to do some abdominal work. So just take your hands on your hip bones. And again, make sure you're not laterally tilting to the right, laterally tilting to the left. Yeah, so if you think about raising each butt cheek, yeah, and then making sure that neither are raised, and that your lower, that your navel to spine is connected, so you're drawing the navel in. Not like you're stuck in a pair of jeans on, but just gently. You've only just had a couple too many biscuits, and you're just gently trying to go that navel to the spine. Lengthen through the front of the chest, take your arms down by your side. If you are seeing more of the back of the room, give yourself a little chin nod. That's sumo distance between chin and chest. Keep the ribs cage in and down. And just bring the right leg up to tabletop. And then the lower leg. And the left leg. And try and do it without any movement at all through the back. Yes, you're keeping a neutral spine. Lift and lower. It's harder than it looks to keep everything super still. And then take the right leg and just let it drop out to the side and bring it back in. Stopping at the point where you feel like the hip is going to go like that and the bum's going to lift on the opposite side. So you just take it out to the side and the navel starts coming back to, pushing back to the backbone. Yeah, it is the abdominals that are moving the legs. Really quite basic to start with, but really quite hard not to lose that pelvic stability. So if you think that you can, let's just see. If you want to try and just do that again, lift and lower, you can. Or you can try and see if you can lift both legs up to tabletop. And then all we're going to do is gently take the right leg forward and slowly back in. And the left leg. And back in. Keep drawing that navel in. Keeping a neutral spine. Breathing deeply in and out. Through the nose or in through the nose, out through the mouth. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Just take the feet down, take your arms out to capital T. Bring the knees to the right, the head to the left. Take a big breath in to let the belly rise. Exhale, draw the tummy in. Back to center. And the other side. Inhale, let the belly rise. Exhale, draw the navel in. Back to center. And one more. I don't know why this class, I don't know if it does for you guys, but to me it like seems to go like so quick. Inhale, let the belly rise. Exhale. Inhale. And move direction. Last one. Inhale, belly breath. Remember where we do belly breaths. So normally we do, Pilates, we're all very much slip the belly in, navel to spine. But actually when we're relaxing, we want the belly, that diaphragm to expand so we can aid that lymph fluid movement and also relaxation. So with that relaxation in mind, let's just gently see if we can take our palms down by our side and just start bringing them up to shoulder height. And back down again. And again. And out. And just notice if there's any. So for me, even on this side now, still 6 months after accident, I can still feel that movement between 18 and 20 is quite tough. Hopefully you can push through it in a sec. Just gently bring up, take, and away, and again, and again. So don't worry if you're not getting into full flexion. Just take your arms to wherever they feel comfortable. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll see if we can just combine the two. So take it like this and into that circling action. So you go into scissor and the hand that's at the top of the body starts coming round to where this hand